Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everyone doing this fabulous Thursday? Tomorrow is my birthday, y'all. Tomorrow is my birthday. I'm going to be 20-something. I'm going to be 20-something again. So, I doubt I'll be doing a live tomorrow. So, I said, let me go on here. Let me do a good little live on some business tips that we need to make sure that we have in order. Okay. Tomorrow is March 1st. Whoop, whoop. So we are about to be ending, or we're getting close to the end of the first quarter. But if we have a multi-member LLC, meaning we have 2 or more members of the LLC, if we have an LLC that's being taxed as an S Corp, or if we have a C Corp, then our tax returns are going to be due on March 15th. Okay. So if you have a multi-member LLC, the business has to file a separate tax return than the person. So if you have a 2-member LLC, then you have to file a 1065 or a partnership return. If you are an LLC taxed as an S Corp, then you're going to file an 1120S tax return. And if you are a C Corp, the business has filed its own tax return. And those business tax returns are always due a month before the personal. So they're going to be due on March 15th. Once you file your business return for an LLC, for a partnership or an S Corp, so an LLC multi-member or an S Corp, the business itself is not going to pay taxes. The income or the losses will flow to you personally on a K-1. You will then take that K-1 and file that K-1 on your personal tax return. Okay? So if you have an LLC, if you have a multi-member LLC or an S Corp, you need to be getting your information into your accountant or your CPA to get these tax returns in, or be filing an extension to file September and October. If you are an LLC single member LLC, or if you are a multi-member LLC with your husband or wife and you chose to be taxed as a single member LLC or as a sole proprietor, maybe is my shirt doing the most? Hold on. Now, come on, shirt. You got to keep it professional. Hold on. So if you are a husband and wife, but you chose to be taxed as a single member LLC, then the business income and expenses will be filed on your personal tax return via a Schedule C. Okay, so let's just clear that up. If you're a single member LLC or you're married and you chose to be taxed as a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, then the business information is going to be filed on your personal tax return on your 1040 via a Schedule C. And your return is still due on either April 15th or on October 15th if you get that that extension. Okay, so S Corps, partnerships, C Corps, your tax returns due on March 15th, so in about 15 days, unless you get the extension. And then my LLC single members are going to be due with their personal return on April 15th. I am doing a challenge next week, 5 days, going over business structure, business grants, contracts, holding companies, trusts, bankruptcies, real estate, commercial real estate. What else are we doing? Credit repair, funding. So if you wanted the link to my 5-day challenge, it's going to be Monday through Friday. Comment challenge in the comments and a link will be sent to you. I'm doing my last free masterclass this Sunday at 7 p.m. Comment bank in the comments for a link. So, if you have formed your LLC in January or February, make sure you get your BOI report in 90 days once you formed your LLC. That new report came into effect this year. As long as you filed your LLC 2023 earlier, then you can have till January 1st of 2025 to get that form in. But if you have just formed an LLC, a holding company, whatever, in January or February this year, you have 90 days to get your BOI or your beneficiary ownership information report in. So tonight I wanted to go over some business structure mistakes that we don't want to make. The first one is going to be waiting to form our LLC. You do not want to wait to form your LLC for this reason. So no matter if you're making money, you're not making money, you're thinking about doing a business, you're not forming the LLC because the business is making money. You're forming the LLC to protect yourself, okay? So you probably have a house, a car, and money in the bank. When you go and do a DBA, when you are a sole proprietor, you will be doing business as yourself, meaning you are exposing your house, your car, the money in the bank to business creditors, and we don't want that, okay? So the second you're thinking about doing a business, you want to form your LLC to separate you and your assets from the business. So I don't know if y'all saw, I did a little take on what's the little TikTok sensation, Miss Risa, Miss Tessa, the lady who did like a 50-part series on why did she get married. I did a play on that called Why Did I Start a Business, right? So I have a 13 video series on a whole scenario about Joy and Keisha open up a cupcake bakery. They get sued. I maxed out my credit cards. I don't know all this debt. I'm kind of showing in real time how all these business mistakes kind of do a domino effect. But why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? I said LLC, it separates you from your business. You don't want to. So in that play on Risa or Tessa, whatever her name is, I did not form my LLC. So when you don't form your LLC and you're doing business, any kind of mistake that happens, they're going to be suing you personally. If you get sued personally, then anything that you have would be up for grabs if you were to lose the lawsuit and they got a judgment against you. Okay, so I'm thinking about selling earrings, or I'm thinking about selling cupcakes. I'll do the same thing I did in my little 13 video meme on that. So I'm selling cupcakes. I left the cupcakes out overnight. I left the milk overnight. It was spoiled. I still made the cupcakes. I had catered, I think I said 3 retirement parties, 2 birthday parties, and everyone got sick, so I was being sued. If I didn't have an LLC, then I'm personally being sued, meaning me personally. So anything I own is up for grabs. We don't want that. For this reason, we want to always form an LLC. So we're separating ourselves and our assets from the business. So if we were to get sued, we would only lose whatever the business owned. We would not be able to touch, they would not be able to touch our personal assets, okay? When you are talking about going into business, having a side hustle, I think I want to do something, it is grimy out here in these business streets, okay? It is dangerous out here in these business streets. One wrong move and it can send your life on a spiral. Let me get my monkeys. One bad move and you're not properly structured will send you on a spiral. Okay, so if you don't have the proper foundation, if you don't have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, if you're not structured properly and we make a mistake will happen, okay? A mistake will happen. You'll make a mistake. Your employees will make a mistake. There's going to be a misunderstanding. You thought I said 1, 2, 3. They thought I said 3, 2, 1. So now we're in a contract dispute. Maybe something just goes wrong, right? You will get sued in business. You won't always lose the lawsuit. There are frivolous lawsuits. They got these upset customers. They be wanting refunds. They have unrealistic expectations. They are mad about something. You will get sued in business at some point in time. Okay. You want to make sure though that your business structure is correct, that your assets are separated, that everything is structured fine. So when you do have a lawsuit, we don't have the monkey on our neck. We know that, hey, my foundation is fine. My setup is fine. My assets are protected. If something goes wrong, I'm still good. That's what we want. So mistake number 1 is waiting until the business makes enough money and then I'll form my LLC. No, we want to form our LLC the second we're thinking about starting the business so that we're separating ourselves. Even though you haven't started your business, you're still going to be doing things for the business. Maybe we are, trying to get some equipment or inventory or supplies, and we may be entering into some contractual agreements. You may be signing a lease, for an office space. Before the business actually starts to make money, you are still doing things for the business. As long as you're doing all these things as a DBA or a sole proprietor, then your house, your car, the money in your bank is being exposed, and we do not want that. Okay, so having our structure, the foundation of the business, is so important. So as we're building on our foundation, it's strong, it's solid. Right? So we have a little whammy here. We made a little mistake here. Our foundation is strong. Everything's not going to crumble versus you didn't set things up right. Your LLC's all wrong. And then we have a whammy. Everything is coming down, right? We don't want that. Now, the second mistake is going to be we are forming one LLC, but running multiple businesses out of that one LLC. Okay, so let's just say I'll do the same. I'll keep up with Joy's Cupcakes. Let's say I have Joy's Cupcakes, right? And Joy's Cupcakes is making money. I have property, I have equipment, I'm making money. It's paying all my bills at the office. It's paying on my home. It's paying everything. I then decide and say, you know what? Let me start Joy's Hair Salon. I'm going to start to be a stylist. I'm going to do hair, but I don't want to get an LLC quite yet. Let me first see if I'm good at doing hair. I'm going to just get a DBA and put it underneath my Joy's Cupcake LLC. Well, now we're combining multiple businesses into one LLC, and we don't want that for this reason. Okay, so I'm a hairstylist now. I'm doing hair. I leave the relaxer on her hair for too long. It burns a hole in her scalp. Her scalp then gets infected. She's having to go to a dermatologist, having to have, what's that surgery? A skin graft, done on her scalp. And so now there's a hole this size in the middle of her scalp, and it will never grow hair because I left the relaxer on for too long. Well, of course she's suing me, right? Right. Now, of course, I'm going to lose that lawsuit because I was negligent by burning out the entire hole in her head, right? Right. Okay. So, because I combined Joy's Hair Salon with Joy's Cupcakes, although the cupcake company had nothing to do with Joy's Hair Salon burning this girl's hair out, when they come to collect on the judgment, because I put the DBA with the LLC, it's all one big pot of gumbo. So the hair client's going to be able to access all the assets of the cupcake company, although the cupcake company technically never did business with the hair client. Because I just used one LLC and I got a DBA provides you no protection. A DBA separates nothing. A DBA is just a nickname to do business in other than a certain name. So when you combine multiple businesses under one LLC, you're making one big pot of death and destruction. One big pot of heartache. one big pot of a headache, one big pot of a heart attack, one big pot of anxiety. And this again is when the monkeys come out. Okay? So if I have to find out I'm losing a lawsuit, well, it's okay. You know, the hair salon really didn't have much going on about it, so I'm not worried about it. Oh, wait, I'm not going to lose just my hair salon assets. I'm about to lose my bakery assets too. Oh my gosh. So now, with all the bakery assets gone, how am I going to pay my rent at work? How am I going to pay my employees? How am I going to pay my mortgage at home? How am I going to keep these kids in private school? How am I going to pay for our spring break cruise? This is when the monkeys come in. This is when the stress comes in. This is where we're either eating too much or not eating. This is where the gun comes to play. Okay, so depending on how bad things go, the monkeys come real soon. Okay, tomorrow I will record another series to pick up from where I left. If you just logged on to my live, I did a 13-part series on why I started a business, mirroring the TikTok Risa Tisa girl who did Why I Get Married. But I'm doing a story about me opening up a business. I didn't have a proper contract with my business partner. I maxed out all my credit cards. I depleted my savings. I didn't have any employees sign any kind of non-disclosures. They had my recipes. I didn't get the proper license and permits. The city then shut down my cupcake, my cupcake business. I'm now not able to pay any of my bills. I got hit with a $5,000 fee for not having the right licenses and permits. And now, before they shut down my cupcake bakery, I said that one of the employees had left the milk out overnight. We had made all these cupcakes, catered 2 parties, 3 retirement parties, and now I have 30 lawsuits against me personally because we didn't form an LLC for having everyone get food poisoning. That's where I left off with my 13-part series. I will then I'm going to do another series tomorrow showing the domino effect about not having contracts, right? So number one, anytime you go into business with your best friend, with your mama, with your cousin, with your daddy, with whoever, you need to have a contract. Number one, there needs to be either an operating agreement or a partnership agreement. How are we divvying up these profits? How are we divvying up the lawsuits? What are you bringing to this partnership? What am I bringing? What is the split? Everything isn't always 50-50. If you're putting in the time and I'm putting in the money, so let's just say I'm going to start Joy's Cupcake Bakery, but I work. I'll put 50 grand up. You're a stay-at-home mom. You don't work, so you'll work the business. But how are we divvying up the profits versus the debt? Do I get my 50 grand first and then we start splitting profits? Or are we saying we're going to divide the profits in half whenever that we get them every month, and half will go towards the debt and another half? There's so many ways to skin a cat. There's no one way of how you do a partnership, but all of these kinds of things need to be in writing and understood before the money hits the bank account. Once the money hits the bank account, things change. Once the money hits the bank account, people's feelings change. Prime example, we'll take Meg the Stallion. Before Meg the Stallion was put on, what was her, I forgot whatever her first hit was. Before she was Meg the Stallion, she was Meg, right? She was Megan, a rapper out in Houston. I just left Houston 2 years ago. Never heard of Megan Thee Stallion, okay? So when Megan Thee Stallion went to go sign to her record label, she was nobody. The record label had to take a chance. Hey, we're going to upfront this money on producers. We're going to upfront this money on, getting you songs, getting you promo. We're going to get you a trainer. We're going to get you a personal style. We're going to get you a makeup artist. We're going to get you a hairstyle. We're going to make sure every time you go somewhere, you are looking together. We have travel expenses. They're putting up all the money, hoping that she makes it big. How many other stylists how many other song artists has this happened to and no one's heard of them, right? So the person with the money's taking the risk by investing in the artist, and the artist taking a risk. Am I going to make it? Am I not going to make it? Well, Megan did more than made it. Megan made it big, right? So once she made it big, what happened? I'm being robbed. My record label taking all this money from me. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. This ain't right. And this ain't fair. And nah. And nah. Now, when she was over in Houston, didn't no one know about her. She didn't have no money to be on the album. She didn't have no money for the trainer. When no one was studying her, she wasn't saying anything, right? No shade to Megan. This is business. This is how it goes. I was doing that for an example. Once the business starts making money, people's feelings change. So in the beginning, you say, okay, well, you work half the time. I'm going to work half the time. The second the business hits, the second you got more money than month, the second after all them bills is paid, there is still money left over. All of a sudden, people forget what they said. Well, I'm bringing more to the business. Well, I'm working more hours. Or we use 4 of my ideas and only 2 of yours. And now, depending on the integrity of the person, the character of the person, who you're dealing with, now they're looking at it, well, shoot. If the business made $100,000 and we got to do it 50-50, if I had this whole thing, I could do 100. People's feelings change. The true person comes out with money. Money magnifies who you really are. When we're all broke, when no one has the money, when we rob from Peter to pay Paul, we're all in this thing together. But the second we got money, the real person comes out. The problem is you may not know who the real person is. So you want to make sure that whatever is the agreement with your mama, with your daddy, with your best friend since elementary school, with this great business partner, you just want to put it in writing. When you have the business agreement in writing, there is no ifs, ands, buts. What you had said and what had happened was an I thought and remember when it's going to be right there in black and white in writing. What are the terms of this partnership agreement? Who is getting what? What are the expectations? Are we taking profits? Are we paying the debt? How are we doing that? When you have any kind of contract, the biggest part of a contract that is always missing is the termination section. How do I get out of this contract? A business partnership is like a marriage. Baby, it is free to start. It is easy to get done. I went and flew to Las Vegas, and I think I may have paid $200 to get my marriage license. And I was an entrepreneur. So I said, I ain't putting no money on no big wedding. I could use that money for inventory for my hair boutique. So me and my soon-to-be ex-husband, we got married in Vegas. And this may sound ghetto, but I had my reception at a casino. We just had at the buffet at a casino. They had a private room. And I told my friends and family who flew out, hey, y'all, the money I was going to put on my wedding, I'm putting it in my business. So I'm getting married in Vegas. Here's the date. We're going to go to this wedding chapel. And we're going to have the reception at it wasn't the Cosmopolitan. I forget it was a casino off the strip. It was the buffet was bomb, right? So that's what it is. So if you want to come, you don't want to come, whatever, right? But it was easy to get married. I am 6 figures now in attorney's fees trying to get out of my marriage. Okay. So when you start your partnership, it's free. It's easy. It's whatever money you have and you're in. But when you want to get out of that partnership, it's going to cost you some money. You want to make sure that we map out, how do I get out of this if we don't mix without tearing the baby apart? Do you own the business and you're going to pay me a royalty every single month? Are you going to buy me out of the business? Are you going to pay me an upfront fee and then every single month I get a payment for whatever, is we agree upon? Are we agreeing that, I can leave and I can start my same business somewhere else? Whatever you want to do, you can do. It needs to be in writing. And so whenever I'm reviewing a contract for a client, I just had one, a girl got into a contract with a franchise, and the franchise she feels is not holding up their end of the bargain, and they not giving her the training she thought she was going to have, boom, boom, boom. And so now she wants to get out. You go right to the termination section. A lot of times it's just a one-liner that doesn't really break down how do we get out of this relationship. It doesn't have to end on bad terms if it's in writing. Okay, so for this reason, if you have a business partnership, you want to make sure you have a contract. In that contract, there needs to be a termination agreement. How do I get out of this, and what are the terms? That is before any money is made. Because the second the money is made, the real person shows up. You may be the person of integrity. You may be the person of character. You may be the person saying, you know what, I know it's been 5 years. We don't see eye to eye. We're not agreeing we don't agree on things. We just don't mix. And so as a partner, I just want to kind of get out of this. But I'm not going to forget when we first started, you were the person who had the credit cards to buy the inventory, and you work the business also. So I want to make sure everything is divvied up 50-50. That's how you're going into business. The issue is going to be your business partner may not be of that much character, may not have character or integrity. And when that money came in, they was like, "Ooh, baby." They forgot about how you put up the upfront money. They forgot all what you did. All they're looking at is what they need. That mirrors to their face. Me, 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 me. And you don't want to be on the short end of the stick. Same with employees. It is so important that employees are signing non-disclosure agreements. If you have your employees that are going to be around your recipes, around your formulas, around your client list, knowing the ins and outs of your business, knowing how you do things, knowing where you're buying things from, knowing your systems. What if that employee leaves? Yes, they're your best employee right now. They are a godsend. Oh my gosh, without them, things would not move. Things happen. People change. What is going to be the character of that person if you guys don't see eye to eye? What's going to be the character of that person if they feel like, I want to go turn up for my birthday. I'm about to go get drunk, then get food poisoning. I'm about to be gone for a month. And I still feel like you should be paying me, although I'm not on a salary. And you're like, well, girl, like, I can't pay you. You're not coming to work, but I'm going to keep your job. But no, girl, I can't pay you because you're not on a salary and you missed 2 weeks of work. All I've done for you and you can't, baby, it's business. Like if you're at Walmart and you're an hourly employee and you went and got turned up and got sick and you didn't go to work 2 weeks, you wouldn't dare ask Mr. Walmart to pay you for not going to work 2 days. So why are you playing me? But they gonna play you. So now they mad. They made the wrong decisions, but they can't be mad at themselves, so now they can be mad at you. Depending on their character or lack of character, depending on their integrity or lack of integrity, well, I'm going to get back. I got her client list. She ain't doing nothing special. All she is a coach. I mean, I listen to all her sessions. I can tell people everything she do. She says, do this, do. It ain't that hard. And she's making all this money because employees always see all the money coming in. They never see them bills. They never see them invoices. They don't see rent. They don't see insurance. They don't see none of that. All they see is the money coming in. They ain't doing nothing but selling hamburgers. I season the meat. All I gotta do is get my own hamburgers, get my own bun. I'm the one cooking. I'm gonna get my baby mama's income tax check. I'm gonna go make my own hamburger. No. Things happen. It's business. I always say it's grimy out here in these business streets. Eat or get eaten, kill or be killed. So every employee needs to be signing a non-disclosure agreement. If you leave my business, that's fine. You can't take my recipes. You can't take my trade secrets. You can't contact my customers. You can't contact my vendors. You want to make sure that whatever it is that you are exposing them, if you don't want your worst enemy or your biggest competitor to know it, that needs to be in a non-disclosure agreement. I am an attorney. I know all of these things. When I started my salon franchise, I had this manager. I got her a company car. Hey, girl, I'm helping you out. Her baby daddy wasn't paying no money. In the beginning, I was not the best boss. I tried to overcompensate and help all my employees, and that is not business. If you go to Walmart and you tell Mr. Walmart your baby daddy ain't paying his child support, and either you gonna come to work or you not gonna come to work, you choose. But they ain't about to send you a Uber, they ain't about to send you a Lyft. Okay, I'm getting company cars out of order, right? Trying to be there, and she was fired. Okay. She was let go maybe after a year and a half. She didn't show up for All-Star Week. She just got let go, right? She mad. She had been downloading my client list. She had been seeing the receipts of, when I go and get all the supplies, boom, boom, boom. So she literally went across town and she started up a competing business, because when you're good in business, you make it look good. I mean, all she did was get a salon space and get these stylists, and the clients are wrapped around the door. They have no idea how hard it is to get someone to walk in the door. They have no idea how hard it is to be able to get the employees to work together. Okay. So luckily she was not a good businesswoman. Come payroll and, oh wait, y'all got paid this, but hold on, right? And she only lasted maybe 30 days because when payroll time came, she didn't know that all the money that came in is not your money. All that money that comes in, it has to be allotted to inventory, insurance, all these things. Maybe she at the mall, right? So luckily she closed down. But what if she was related to an awesome, savvy business person? And she had where I was getting all of my supplies from. She knew how I was paying my stylist. She had all my client lists. She knew my whole system. Had she had someone that has some business sense, they could have given me a run for my money. So if I'm making this mistake, knowing all of this, but I'm just so in my business, I'm just trying to make a profit, because when you get in your business, you're in your business. You're just trying to get things going. Sometimes you forget about your I's being dotted and your T's being crossed. And you don't realize until it's too late. Oh, shoot, I should have had boom, boom, boom. Oh, shoot, I should have done boom, boom, boom. Okay, so, and it happens to the best of us. You go on here like, girl, I haven't signed, nope, I ain't got none of this going on. It happens to the best of us, okay? So this Sunday, if any of what I'm saying is making sense, if any of this is like, girl, you right, I am doing a free masterclass this Sunday going over all of this. Just comment bank in the comments and a link will be sent to you. It will be Sunday night at 7 p.m. So we got to have a contract. If we have a partner, we got to have a contract for our employees. And then we also want to make sure that we are owning our logo, our photos, our videos, right? So copyright rule is whoever creates the content owns the content. whoever creates it owns it. So if I hire a graphic designer to make my logo and I pay them $1,000, I pay them $200. Although I pay them, they still own the logo because copyright has to be transferred like real estate. It has to be in writing. Okay. So when you're a new business, you're starting off, no one knows you, that is the perfect time to get all your contracts signed. Once you start making money, once you start building your business, once your business name has goodwill, and now you want to run back 5 years. Hey, graphic designer, 10 years ago, you drew my logo, but I want to make sure I own it. So can you sign this contract? Well, now they're like, well, if you're asking me to sign it, that means that I must own it. And if you want me to sign it, it must be worth something. Well, now I want to charge you. You want to make sure that in the beginning, you get everything that you need so that you own everything that is yours. There is a case out in Georgia, out of Atlanta, Sweetwater Brewery. Sweetwater Brewery is a brewery who started about 30 years ago. They paid $500 for a family friend to draw their logo. 30 years later, Sweetwater Brewery sold for $300 million. Well, what do you think the family friend did? Correct. They sued them for $30 million. Saying that, that logo has goodwill. If I were to take the golden arches and set the golden arches up on the side of the road with a building, people will be driving into my building thinking it's McDonald's, although McDonald's isn't even up there. So your logo has something called goodwill. If you don't own your logo, like Sweetwater Brewery, although they paid the family friend, they didn't get it signed in writing. So now they're getting hit with a $30 million lawsuit saying you are selling our intellectual property, the logo, and so we want our cut. Once your business starts making money, your problem is no longer making money. Your problem is keeping it. In the beginning, you're just trying to make something shake. You're just trying to get this thing going. Just trying to pay all your bills. Once you start paying all your bills and having something extra, there's going to be so many different people coming at you from all these angles trying to take it from you. So your problem is no longer making money. Your problem is now keeping the money. So all of these things I'm talking to you about, besides your business structure, it's going to be contracts. There are certain things you have to have in place to protect yourself and to protect the things of your business. So to be able to own your logo, own your photos, own your videos, you need to have your graphic designer or your photographer sign a copyright transfer agreement. If you need a copyright transfer agreement, I have one on my website. Just type in contracts in the comment and the link will be sent to you. You want to do this sooner versus later. You're about to have a photo shoot and take a picture. Great. And before you pay the photographer, oh, by the way, here's this copyright transfer agreement. I need you to sign it so that I can make sure that I own my photos after I pay you. Now, in my contracts, I'm going to give you 3 versions. I'm going to give you the template that you're going to just fill in. That'll be your contract. I'm going to give you an explanation contract. So under every section, there's going to be a little paragraph either in red or green. And I'm going to be explaining every single section of the contract. Some is just explaining what it is. Other stuff will be legal mumbo jumbo. I'm going to explain it so that number one, getting a contract and signing it and not knowing what the contract is saying is not protecting you. If you don't know what it's protecting, then if you don't know what the contract is protected, then are you protected? No, you're just signing a contract. And you're not going to realize that you're not protected until you need it. And you're in court. And you're learning, oh, well, that wasn't covered in your contract, so you're not protected by that. That's not what you want. So I explain to you every section of the contract. So number one, you understand what you're signing. Number two, you can understand it so that you can now explain to the person that you're asking to sign a contract. Oh, what do you have me? Well, here it is. And this section is saying boom, 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 which means blah, 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 blah. And this section is saying boom, 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 which means blah, 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 blah. I'm then going to give you a third contract, which will be an example contract. So I fill all the parts that you're supposed to fill out in red. So you can actually see what part you're supposed to fill out and what should be going there. So you understand what you're supposed to be doing. So that way you not only have a contract, you understand what's being protected. The reason why I go over all these things, I don't want to tell you get an LLC and get an LLC for all your businesses, because you're going to be like, okay, well, you're saying get an LLC, and then person number two is saying I can just get a DBA, and then person number three is just saying let's get one LLC. So all we're doing is saying some things, and you don't know who to listen to or why to listen to it. So I don't want to tell you what to do. I want to tell you what to do, and I want to explain to you, if you don't do it, these are the consequences. So when I explain to you, you need to have this contract or you're not going to own your logo. And today, your bank account may be negative, but next year, you may be a 6 or a 7-figure business. And at that point in time, it's going to be hard to own your logo. And in 5 years from now, you may be selling your business as your exit strategies. You may be selling it, a bigger business maybe wanting to come in and buy your business. And you don't want to sign on the dotted line thinking you're about to get this check cut to you. And then here comes your graphic designer from 6 years ago. They saw you on Instagram talking about how God was good and he blessed you, and you selling your business, and you about to go on this world vacation and retire, and you just doing your testimony, thanking God. And he what? Wait a minute. I did her logo. Let me get this lawsuit in. Don't let a friend drag a logo. It's always the family and friends are gonna sue you first. That's just business. So when I say it's grimy out here in these business streets, it's grimy out here in these business streets. And I'm not telling you things that, I heard, that someone told me, that I Googled. I've been in business since 2005. I'm old, right? So all these things are either things that I've been through myself, that I've seen. Business is grimy. So I'm telling you real life experiences from things that I have experienced, right? And so you don't want to have to, make all the financial mistakes I've made. You don't want to have to waste all the time I've made going down wrong holes. I'm trying to tell you everything of what to do so that you can kind of get to your point A to Z faster, quicker, cost effective, less tears, less sleepless nights. Okay? So don't just get the contract. Get the contract. Understand what the contract is saying. Understand why it needs to be signed. And then go get it. If you need a link to the contract, just comment contracts in the comment. And a link will be sent to you. If any of this information is interesting to you, I am doing a free masterclass this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can just comment bank in the comments and a link will be sent to you. But it's so important that your business foundation, all of your I's be dotted, all of your T's be crossed, making sure that when you get in bed with a business partner, that there's a way out in all your discussions and your expectations are in writing. It's so important that every employee who comes into your business comes into your baby. Like, this is your baby. You have emptied out your savings account to start this business. You have drained your 401k to start this business. Your kids are not going out of town for spring break or on a summer break because you're going to use that money to start your business. So if you're sacrificing your time with your family and friends or kids, if you're doing all this investment in this business, then you can't just let anyone in it without protecting yourself. Because there are people, like I say all the time, that don't have the best integrity, that don't have the best character. And you don't want them to take your trade secrets, your client list, your vendor list, and go give that to your biggest competitor. Or better yet, you don't want them to go and compete with you. Hey, thank you for training me and teach me your entire system. Now I'm going to go open up shop right next to you and contact all your clients and just copy what you did. That's not what you want in business, okay? So having that first is the proper business foundation of the business structure, knowing how many LLCs you need to have, how to set them up, what should be in this LLC, what should be in that LLC, so that when there is a problem, our foundation is so strong, we're still good. And then having the proper contracts in place. So when things go wrong, it's not if something will go wrong, when. Something will always go wrong in business. It's just business. It's like having a baby and expecting the baby never to cry. A baby is going to cry. I don't care how good that baby is, it's going to cry. I have never met a baby that has never cried. Now, you may have a good baby and she only cries when she's wet or when she's hungry, but that baby gonna cry. You are going to have an issue in business. It's not if you will, it's when you will. And when you have that problem, you want to be able to sleep at night. You want to be able to know that everything I have worked for is still protected. I'm not going to lose it. You don't want to have the monkey around your neck. And the monkey equals stress. You can't create with stress. You can't think with stress. You can't run your business with stress. You can't be productive with stress. With too many monkeys, it's going to affect your marriage. It's going to affect your family. It's going to be a domino effect. So we don't want the monkeys around our neck. We want to make sure that when we come out here in these business streets, we are protected. So when something goes wrong, my family is still good. When something goes wrong, my kids can still stay in baseball and ballet. When something goes wrong, my wife can still stay in her little luxury SUV and go do her Target runs and Starbucks runs, and she's still living good. If something goes wrong, I'm still able to pay my employees and my business can still go. If something is wrong, my life is not altered. If we don't have the proper structure, if we don't have the proper foundation, if you don't have the tools in place, and things go wrong, it's going to be a domino effect. You're going to have to move out the house because you can't afford the mortgage anymore. The kids are going to come out of private school. You got to tell your son he no longer can do travel baseball, and your daughter can no longer do gymnastics. And that wife got to come out that Lex to get this Toyota Corolla. And we got to leave this dream house and now go to a 2-bedroom apartment. Now you in divorce court or you at a marriage counselor. Now you're not having sex. Now you're talking about bankruptcy. Now you're saying, why start this business? Now you either got anxiety, depression, either you skinny because you're not eating or you're getting fat because you are eating. Now you're mad. Now you always angry. Why? All because you didn't do boom, 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 boom. So if any of this is making sense to y'all, if any of this like, you know what, girl, you right, type in bank in the comments and come to my free masterclass. It's my last free masterclass for the month, 7 p.m. Eastern time, going over all of this so that when you come out here in these business streets, you are protected. Not just you, your family's protected. Your mental health is protected. Your marriage is protected. Your relationship with your kids is protected. Because if you don't come out here the correct way, all of that's about to be a wrap. All that's about to be a wrap. You ever watch ESPN and they always gonna do, a special on the athlete that went bankrupt, right? They had one on Vince Carter. He made all these millions of dollars and no. And then, he just couldn't get it together on the football field. And, then he got, cut, and he was, buying out Southwest planes and buying every ticket on the plane, and, just for himself. And he's paying for the entire Cheesecake Factory client. I mean, just wasting all this money. And, and now he don't have no money. Right. And then they, and they show you this big fabulous life, and then you see the demise of it, slowly but surely. Or take any star. Where are they now? They're gonna singer who had all these Grammys, and they have the mansions and the yachts, and then one thing happens and it's a spiral effect, and now they're talking to you from their mama's house saying, baby, wait a minute. Now they're talking to you from their mama's house, talking about, hey, back in the day, boom, 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 boom. We don't want that, right? But that can happen real quick. If you go on my page and look at my 13-part series of why I started a business, I am setting the stage for, I think I'm Joyce Cupcake, as to I'm setting the stage of how, in this 13 series, I did everything wrong. And the next ones I cut tomorrow, I'm going to show the domino effect about how not having the LLC is causing this, how not having the contract is causing this, how not having the licenses. I'm going to do this whole domino effect. Okay, so if you got time, watch my little 13 video series. But it's so important that you understand not just what to do, but why to do it. So in the midst of running your business, in the midst of, doing all this, you're like, wait, I got to make sure I have this because I don't want that. I got to make sure I have this because I don't want that. Okay. So that's what my free masterclass on Sunday is going to go over. If you need a contract, type in contracts in the chat, and a contract will be sent to you. If you need this free masterclass, this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, type in bank in the comments for a link. Tomorrow is my birthday, y'all, so I will not be on a live. But everyone have an awesome weekend, and I will, of course, see you at the bank.